Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing well. So, our today's session will be stock market data and analysis. We'll dive into this topic and try to get a little understanding of stock market. So, to start our course, let's start from what stock is, but we don't be familiar with this name, so let me give you some understanding. So a stock is it's like a piece of a company. For example, if you imagine a pizza that's cut into 10 slices, and each slice we assume it's like one share. And if you buy one slice, you mean that you own 10% of the pizza. So similarly, for a company, it's like you can think of this company as a big pizza, and the shares are small pieces. And owning a share means you own a part of that company. So what's a stock market? So it's a place where people buy and sell shares. It's a network of all stock tradings where investors and traders buy and sell stocks. It's a place where most companies raise vast amount of money to start and expand businesses or to pay off debt. Also, the stock market is a vast organized network that enables buyers and sellers to trade shares of ownership in publicly listed companies. So you can think of the stock market like a big supermarket that instead of buying some vegetables or fruits, people might buy shares of companies. So, for example, when you buy a share of Apple, you are buying that share from another investor who already owned it, like it's a secondary market. But Apple, the company, doesn't directly get the cash from this trade, but high demand of its stock market makes it easier for the company to raise money for future projects. So why do we analyze stock market data? So analysis is the process of converting this raw data into actionable information to make it more informed investment decisions, to reduce reliance on guesswork and also emotions. So we will move based on our data. So we analyze our analysis of data will help us to get an informed decision that will get us a high profit. So our goal to be is the current price of the stock. Like it might be $100, actually cheap or expensive based on the company's performance. And the next thing we will analyze is we'll predict the direction. Will the stock share price likely to go up, down, or stay in the same future? And the other goal is to manage the risk. That means understanding the data helps investors calculate the potential loss or risk versus the potential gain. So we will calculate this potential risk and potential gain and understand the data, and that will help us to make an informed decision. So what are the types of stock market data? We have historical prices, which include the opening, high, low, and closing price of a stock for each trading day. These are used to track the performance of stock over time and to calculate the returns. The other type is fundamental data. This includes financial statements such as the income statement, balance sheets, as well as management team and its product or services that are used to assess the financial health of a company. The other thing is the technical data that includes indicators that are derived from historical price and volume data. Technical indicators are used to try to identify trends and patterns in the stock market. And the other thing is news and sentiment data. So this type of data includes news articles and social media posts that mention a particular stock. So these news and sentiment data are used to get a statement of investment towards a stock. where can we get this stock market, or what are our data sources here? Our data sources might be financial data providers that are financial data providers that offer stock market data for free or for a fee. Some of the most popular financial data providers include Yahoo Finance, Google Finance, and also Bloomberg. You will see it in detail on your other sessions. And the other thing is the stock exchange that provides some stock market data for free. For example, the New York Stock Exchange both provide historical price data for the stocks that are listed on their exchange. And the other thing is the company website. The company websites also include some information about their financial performance, as well as their information that might be interest of investors, like press releases and earning reports. Okay, what's a stock market analysis? So this is a method that an investor or trader uses to evaluate and investigate a particular trading instrument, like investment sectors or the stock market. The stock market as a whole. The investors or traders make buying or selling decisions based on stock analysis information. The stock market analysis also helps us to evaluate investment opportunities in specific stocks. We can identify trends and patterns in the market, also make informed investment decisions based on this data. The key components includes the ticker, open, high, low, close, and volume. The ticker means the symbol representing a particular stock. It is a unique identifier for each stock. So each stock will have a unique identifier. So we will get this from our data. The data will have a ticker and the opening price. The open is the price at which a stock starts trading when a market opens. So when someone buys a stock, so that price is the starting price for the day. And the high is the highest price at which a stock traded during the day. So the highest price will be you can see my screen, right? Okay. If you don't see it, please let me know. Okay. Now, as I think it's on your side, try to join again. I think most of you are seeing my screen. So the high is
ቆመን ነበር ወሰን ጋር ጥም ምናምን ቢኒያ ያስቀድመኝ ነበር ይጽፍ ነበር ቢኒያም ይጽፍ ነበር
Okay, so the high is the highest price at which a stock traded during a day. Any questions? Okay, I think it's now audible, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, let's continue. So the low is the lowest price at which a stock traded during a day, and the close is the final price at which the stock traded when the market closed. This is very important for our data. Okay, it's used in all charts and technical indicators for our historical data. The volume is the number of shares traded during a specific period. So what's fundamental analysis? The fundamental analysis is determining the intrinsic value or its an undervalue of a security by examining underlying economic and financial factors. Fundamental analysis answers these questions like what is this company truly worth, and also is the company strong financially. So we will use this financial analysis to check the financial health of a company. So the goal is to find the companies trading below their intrinsic value or undervalued and hold them for a long time. The key components include financial health. This is analyzing the income statement, the profitability, the balance sheets that might be assets and liabilities, and also cash flow statements. And for the industry and economy, evaluating the competitive landscape and microeconomic factors. So this whole thing means that we are analyzing the financial health of company. For example, a fundamental analyst reviews company Z earnings report. They see that its PE ratio. PE ratio means that shows how expensive the stock is. This ratio shows 8, while the industry average is 15. So they conclude that company Z is undervalued relative to its peers and decided to buy. This will expect the price to rise towards the intrinsic value of its peers. So this is the way that we buy and sell stocks. Data sources for fundamental analysis are the financial statements, income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statements, the annual reports, the industry reports, news and articles about the company and its industry. These are our data sources for our financial analysis. And the key metrics used in this analysis is the PE ratio, the return on equity, debt to equity ratio, profit margin, and also the growth rate. Or another analytical step is technical analysis. That's forecasting the future price movements based on the study of historical price action in trading volume. So this technical analysis answers our questions: when is the right time to buy or sell, and also can I predict the price movements by studying charts. Our assumption here will be all known information is already reflected on the stock price, and this human psychology creates repeating price patterns. So we are going to see the patterns here. The key components are the charts and patterns. This might be identifying continuation patterns and also reversal patterns. The indicators. Are you only seeing the 7th slide? Everyone? What about now? Which slide are you seeing? The 7th or it's? I think you can see it now, right? Okay. So I have already discussed the fundamental analysis, just to revise it for you. The fundamental analysis is to check the financial health of the company. So we'll be analyzing the income statement, the balance sheet, and cash flow statements to check the financial health of a company. For the industry and economy, evaluating the competitive landscape and the microeconomic factors. So as an example, I have used fundamental analyst reviews a company's earnings report. They see that the PE ratio is 8, while the industry average is 15. So the PE ratio means the share price versus the earnings per share. That shows how expensive the stock is. So we use this PE ratio to show how expensive a stock is. So they conclude that company Z is undervalued because the PE ratio is 8, while the industry average is 15. So it will rise initially. So they conclude that company Z is undervalued relative to its peers, and they will decide to buy, expecting the price to rise towards the intrinsic value of its peers. So the fundamental analysis will help us to check the financial health of a company. What data sources we use for financial analysis is financial statements. These are the income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements. We will use the annual reports, the industry reports, the news article about the company and its industry. The key matrices we use for fundamental analysis is the price earning ratio, the return on equity, debt to equity ratio, profit margin, and growth rate. These are the matrices that we use for financial analysis. What about now? You are seeing my screen, right? I am on technical analysis slide 10. Can you see slide 10? Which slide are you seeing? Can you tell me, someone? Which slide are you seeing now? You can write it to me on the chat. Okay, thank you. So you are seeing the right screen, so let's continue. The technical analysis is forecasting the future price movements based on the study of historical price attention and trading volume. So here, what questions will be answered is when is the right time to buy or sell, and also can I predict price movements by studying charts. So the assumption here is all known information is already reflected in the stock price, and human psychology creates repeating price patterns. So we are seeing the patterns here on technical analysis. We will see patterns. The key components are charts and patterns, and the indicators are mathematical tools that will be applied to price and volume data. So technical analysis assumes that past price movements can influence the future price movements. So here in technical analysis, we are seeing a pattern, and we will determine the future price movement by seeing the past price movement. So common indicators on our technical analysis are the moving average, the relative strength index, and the moving average convergence divergence. So the moving average is a trend following indicator that smooths out price data. The RSI measures the speed and change of price movements, and the MACD shows the relationship between these two moving averages. So the technical analysis is based on the following assumptions. We are doing this technical analysis based on assumptions. So the first assumption is the market knows it all. Like technical analysis considers that all the factors affecting the company are priced into the security. And the next thing is the price follows a trend. Once a trend is established, future prices tend to follow the direction of the trend. And the other assumption we made when we are doing a technical analysis is history is to be repeated. This means technical analysis involves using chart patterns to analyze the movement in the market and study the trends. So what is sentiment analysis? This is also one factor that will be affecting a stock. Sentiment analysis is the process of determining the emotional tone of a piece of text, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. It specifically resides within NLP tasks. It analyzes opinions and feelings expressed within a piece of writing and categorizing them as positive, negative, or neutral. In finance, it's often used to analyze news headlines, tweets, or social media posts to see our market sentiment, which might be positive, negative, or neutral. So when we see sentiment analysis, a market moves not only because of numbers, but it moves because of news, feelings, excitements, and anything that might be shared online on news headers or tweets like social medias. So for example, if we see the tweet, Apple just released a groundbreaking product, this is a positive report. So this might influence our data. This will potentially influence our stock market. And the news headlines that says Tesla reports unexpected losses this quarter. So this is a negative. So this will affect our stock market. This might lower the price of Tesla. So why do we do sentiment analysis? Why sentiment analysis matter for stocks? The stock price often reacts to news faster than financial reports. So by analyzing sentiment trends, we can detect buying or selling trends. We can also combine sentiment with technical analysis like moving average. Like, for example, if the majority of news and social posts about the company are positive, the stock might trend up even before the earning report. So this news have a major effect on the stock market. So understanding the customer opinions and feedbacks, analyzing social media trends and brand perceptions, monitoring product reviews, and identifying areas for improvement. This will help us to gain insight into audience sentiment towards our marketing campaigns. This also will help us to filter spam and identify potentially offensive content. So we will use tools like NLTK and TextFlow to see our sentiment, to work on our sentiment analysis. And our final analysis is time series analysis, which is in finance. Time series involves analyzing stock prices over time to identify patterns or trends. So key concepts on time series analysis are trends is a pattern that exists involving a long-term increase or decrease in the data. General direction is that the market is moving. And so seasonality is a periodic pattern that exists due to the season, like yearly, quarterly, monthly, daily, weekly. These may be seasons, patterns that repeat at regular intervals. Cyclicity is a pattern that exists where the data exhibits rises and falls that are not fixed in period. So long-term movements in prices that occur regularly, that's not necessarily annually. Key takeaways we will take from this stock market data and analysis concept is the stock market allows buying and selling company shares. So the stocks are tracked using open, high, low, close, and also volume. We will see this on our demo. The other thing, historical data allows us to understand trends and volatility. And the other thing, data helps investors understand the price movements. And combining price data, technical indicators, and sentiment improves trading and investment strategies. And recognizing patterns, trends, and market sentiments for a better informed decisions. So here, these are the key takeaways we will take from our course. So we will move to our demo. I am audible, right? Anyone who has questions? Okay. Do any one of you has questions, or let's move to the demo? Okay. Let's move to our demo. So the first thing, let me show you some stock data here. Okay. Here we have Python libraries that we will use to import our data. So we will use Y Finance and MLP Finance. So we will download our stock data first. What we will do is we will import our Y Finance data, and from Y Finance we will download our Apple stock data. I am downloading the Apple stock data. You can download any ticker. Here you will. Okay. 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 Can you see it now? So we will download our stock data. Here, this is the ticker we have discussed before. The ticker is the unique, it is a short code that represents a company's stock. It's a unique for all stocks. So this AAPL is for Apple stock data. So we will give it a start date and end date, and it will just download our data, our Apple data. So let's check our data here. So our data will be like this. Here we have the closing price, the highest price, the lowest price, the open price, and the volume. We have the ticker, Apple, in the closing, the highest, the lowest, the opening, and the volume here. So this is our data. Then the first thing I did was to remove this Apple. We are going to use the closing, the highest, the lowest, in the open, in the volume data to compute our. So if we need our sentiment analysis, with the sentiment analysis also we can use this to analyze our data. So I will remove this sticker from our data. So I removed that and got this the price and the close, the high, the lowest, the opening, and the volume. So we have the date here, and our price information will be listed here. Then you will use any of the EDs that you have learned before to drop the missing, if there are, to check the missing values and other things. And then I'm going to show you how you can calculate the moving average. One examples from technical, from making the technical, from doing the technical analysis. So here I will be calculating the moving average. So from the data, I will use the closing value to calculate the moving analysis, the moving average. So we are going to use here the rolling and the window with 20, and we are going to calculate the moving average. Is like if we give it for 20 window, that means it will start from the 20th data, and we have the mean of this 20 days mean data. Then I will show you, and the next one is from the 15 moving average data, and we will see the picture here. So here is our plotting. The red one is for the 50-day moving average, and the orange one is for the 20-day moving average. So, and this one is the Apple price. So we can see the technical, and we can make our technical analysis from this, and we have different matrices to determine, and we will use all of them to check our price data, to make our technical analysis and financial analysis. Then I will move to the sentiment analysis. For the sentiment analysis here, I have imported what I need. Then I am using the text plot, which is a Python library for the NLP, and it can do sentiment analysis, part of speech typing, noun, phrase extraction, translation, and more. The text block has different functionalities. So I am using here text block for sentiment analysis. So I will be importing my data here. I have imported it, and I will see the data structure. We have the headlines here, the URL, the publisher, the date, and the stock. So we will do here our EDA. The first thing we will do is EDA. So you will use your EDA concepts to apply to this for the sentiment analysis. Then after doing all the EDA, what I'm going to show you is how we are going to use sentiment analysis, how we are going to make sentiment analysis. So here I have only checked the headlines to see what kind of data it has. I have removed, I have checked the null values if there is any. So I didn't get any with my data. And the next thing also I did was to check if there's any duplicates. As I told you, you will do any EDA that will be needed for your data based on your tasks. Then I have also converted the data structure besides the ADs I have done. Then I used only 100 data to complete this sentiment analysis. So I have put my 100 data, 100 rows of my data. Then here what I'm doing is sample headlines is the panda series with the headlines from our CSV. Then I have used apply to run a function on each row individually. And I have created a text globe object and access the sentiment with polarity. Then always I have defined a function with sentiment category. This function converts the numeric polarity into a human readable. So I have used the score 0.05 greater than 0.05 to be positive. I have used the scores that are less than negative 0.05 to negative, and else neutral. So we have here three categories: the positive, the negative, and the neutral. And what I'm getting here is, you can see this text globe sentiment shows numerical data. Here you see the what kind of what we have the headlines here, and we can compute it from the headlines. We got the polarity. This is the sentiment polarity that excludes sentiment, so it will give us numerically. And I have converted that with this function, with the function sentiment category. I have converted it to human readable text that will be neutral if it's greater than 0.5 to be neutral, if it's less than 0.5 to be negative, and if it's in between to be neutral, and if it's 0 it will be neutral. So numbers are useful, but humans understand words. So I converted the polarity scores into positive, neutral, and negative for easy interpretation. So now you have the headlines labeled as positive, negative, and neutral. We can easily count or plot these categories to see the sentiment distribution. So the next thing I did was to plot the figure. So here you can see our figure. So upon my 100 data rows, I have 70 of them to be neutral, and I think almost 25, around 25 rows to be positive, and I think 5 of them are negative. So this is the sentiment analysis of our data that we got from. So you will do this sentiment analysis on your tasks. So if anyone has any questions, you can raise your hand and ask. Anything unclear, or you need more explanation about? Is everything clear, all of you? Okay, now what? You can start. Nawaz, I think you raised your hand. Okay, anyone has any questions? You just mentioned some requirements needed to be mastered for this project. Yeah, you will use this pandas, matplotlib, and other Python libraries for this. The pandas are like for the data frames, so you have already used them on week 0 tasks. So the thing that will be added here are some libraries for the sentiment analysis. There are NLTK, or the tool I have used, the text globe. So you can see some documentations for them, how you can use them, and what you will learn about that. But that's most of the this courses requirement. Like the other things, the pandas, matplotlib are the first requirements on the Python. So what's you use module for Apple data extraction? I have used Y Finance. Also, you will learn more about it. We will have a session on that. Okay, what is the main purpose here? Analyzing the data already given, and we are customizing it through Excel. No, you are going to analyze this data. You are given the raw data, like from date to date, and the closing, the lowest, the highest, and the volume. And this, you will analyze this data using the matrices like the moving average and the others. What price was the highest? What price was the lowest? And you will make analysis based on the data. You have been given the raw data. You will be given the raw data, and you will analyze each of the data, the stock data you have been given. Okay, Daraji?
Thank you. I think there is positive, negative, and neutral categories from sentiment analysis.
Yeah.
So can we have other conclusions or categories other than this positive, negative, or neutral thing?
This positive, neutral, and negative are given for human readable. Like I did the function, that these are the most these are the things you will use: the positive, the negative, and the neutral to check whether the sentiment analysis is positive or negative. We will have the headlines, so that you will analyze that headline, what it will give you. Like, as I have told you, for sentiment analysis, it's you get it from the news, from the tweets or any social media platforms, and this data will have an effect on our stock market. It might lower the price of a stock, or it might a higher price. So you will analyze it based on the positivity of the statement, the negativity, or is it neutral or not. So if it's positive, you might get a higher stock price. It will rise. The stock market might rise. And if you have a negative feedbacks or negative headlines, the stock market might fall. So that's why we need this positivity, negativity, and neutral. Did you understand?
Yes. Besides, is there any threshold value to say something positive, negative, or neutral?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
these
are
the
standards.
And like for thresholds for polarity, that will be greater than or more than 0.05. These are to give you the threshold. So the thresholds are most of the time greater than or equal to 0.5 for positive, and less than or equal to negative 0.05 for negative. And between these values, it will be neutral.
So can I have other categories other than those three groups?
Like what kind of category? What kind of category did you need exactly?
Maybe like between positive and negative, or maybe between negative and neutral, kind of thing.
You might work on it, but for analyzing, it's much more this is preferred. Like if you have the positive, the negative, or the neutral to check whether your price is rising or falling. What we need on sentiment analysis is to analyze whether our stock is rising or falling, right? So you will use these positive or negative values to analyze that. Do we have any data given for sentiment analysis? Yes, you have the data already on the challenge document. You have the data link for the data you have been given to work on the sentiment analysis. Bethlehem, what time did this Google Meet start? I am the only one who is confused. You have already been given the schedule on Slack, but also we have announced it before 10 minutes also when starting the session. If you have missed most of it, you can also find it because it's recorded. Okay, what if we are analyzing for the real-time data rather than the raw data? Yeah, you can analyze, but the task now given will be you will be given the data. You will analyze. So it will not be the live data or the real-time data. No. It will be from you will check the data, but you have been already given the data. And you can categorize and for the tools. I have told you that there are two tools. I didn't use NLTK now. The NLTK and the text flow. So now I have used the text flow to show you this demo. Selling on Slack, it says 3:30. I think it was 3:30, but the time was changed. But we announced it before 10 minutes that it will start the session. So sorry for the inconvenience. The data we use doesn't need to be stored in a folder quick zero. You will store it on your folder, but you will not push it to GitHub. I think your task now is not scraping from web. You will use just the data provided for the sentiment analysis. Now, as in my last question, where we're going to create a stringlet dashboard for this. So you don't have the stringlet exercise for this task. You can see the challenge document for more. Yeah, most of the time, the time will not be changed, but somehow if that's changed, you check your schedules, and also because we will announce it on Slack, just be active on Slack and you will get it there. Okay. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, you can also address us on Slack. I think it has been clear for you. You can also see the recordings, and if there's any questions, just address us on Slack. Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye. We will end our session here.